But when I do look at the game against Cape Town City, the most immediate things for me, one, Kaizer Chiefs need a central midfielder who's going to control the tempo, because they were playing a basketball game against Cape Town City. It was to and fro, to and fro, to and fro. And the tempo, at no point did it ever change. It was just this fast-paced game. And it was fast-paced, but there was, as I'm saying, one, there wasn't any control and there wasn't any direction in terms of how Kaizer Chiefs want to play. And this is where I indict the coach, because now when I'm looking at that team, I'm struggling now to figure out exactly how do they want to play. How is he setting them up? And then you see his choice of personnel when he's playing Christian Saile. We've seen all there is to see with Christian Saile. And I kind of feel bad for the player in terms of he's got like the right tools. But I've seen players like this, right? And that onus then is on the player in terms of putting it together, because he is fast, he is strong, and he is a willing runner. He started on the wing over the weekend, but the end product is not there. It just isn't there. And then you see Duba playing on the wings. I don't think Duba is a winger. I do think he's someone who will be more successful centrally, but the coach keeps deploying him on the wings, and you don't see Duba doesn't have a desire in him to take on his defender one-on-one, because that's not his game, and I think he has him out there and he has him in the wrong position. So it is, number one, on the coach's side, he needs to play players, one, who can give him something. I don't know why Sahil is playing ahead of Vilagaz. At this point, just give the youngster a go, because there is much more potential there. There's more that can come from him than, as I mentioned, playing Christian Sahile ahead of him. And then, yes, the transfer window is important. They need to go find somebody who is going to put their foot on the ball in the middle of the park and hopefully start controlling the tempo. Very happy with Ox and how he showed up defensively. He makes me laugh when he's passing, because he keeps trying passes that are beyond his ability, and he continues to do so, whereas he just needs to keep it simple. But sometimes I'm watching that and thinking maybe he does not feel as if he can give it to a Yusuf Mart or anyone else next to him in midfield who's then going to make the right pass, so he needs to make things happen. But yeah, we do need to look at the coach a little funny, because as I do mention, that the defense are his signings. And when you look at the Kaizer Chiefs squad, Chuck, from 1 to 23 or whatever the case may be, you'd be hard pressed to say that outside of Pirates, Sundowns, and perhaps Stelis, there is another squad in the PSL that is better than Kaizer Chiefs. And if that is the case, why are they not in 5th or 4th place? Be where we saw a game over the weekend between Polokwane City and Skukune on a pitch that they were not supposed to be playing on, by the way. And these two teams started the day in 4th and 5th place. Mm-hmm. Why are Kaizer Chiefs not where Polokwane City are? Why are they not where Skukune United are?
But it's the overall feeling of the club, because as you're saying, when you need someone to stand on the ball and play, that person has to be someone who wants the ball. And currently, with how they're feeling and their confidence being low, no one really wants the ball. That's why they'll hoof it up. And what Nabi tried at the beginning was, let's play out from the back. And then they got pressed, and they couldn't come out of that press successfully. And then they're like, okay, let's abandon that. And so what that means is that the responsibility now is no longer jointly shared with the defenders and the midfielders. It's the midfielders who must come in and collect the ball from deep and put in a shift to at least win the second balls. And they're not doing that. So I think because no one really wants the ball, we'll hoof the ball up high and then hope that someone latches onto it. And I think that is an issue. So I think, Jay, the coach has tried a couple of things that are not working because the team is devoid of confidence. And I look at that and I look at Jay Uche, for instance, let's look at Bafana Bafana, the prime example of good football. When last did we say that? Whenever Bafana get the ball, you're always saying to yourself, when is Mkwena going to release the ball? That's because he feels like he's got forever on the ball. Sometimes a bit too greedy with the ball and it gets taken off of him. Then he gives it to whoever's his midfield partner, whether Obas or whether who's tall or whether whoever's playing, or telling them about it. But they've got time on the ball. And Chiefs players don't want time on the ball because they're afraid to make mistakes. And I think that's the issue. But a player like Shabalala wants the ball. A player like Uvilagaz, as you say, wants the ball. And so those are players who should be playing. Currently, as you list them, Duprea, Saile, Ranga, those are athletes. They got pace and they got power, but when it comes to the end product, that's when you see that's lacking. So I think he's got his work cut out to Nabi, but I think I do agree with you. Give him time to sign players and then let's see what he can do. But I think, yeah, it's hard going over there, Jay.
Yeah, it is hard going. And on the point that you make, that's where then I'd bring it back to the players. They do need to take responsibility. They do need to recognize they play for Kaizer Chiefs. Get over it. At some point, you need to make up in your mind and deal with the fact that you are a Kaizer Chiefs player. There are different pressures on you. Do you want to play in this team? Do you want to wear that jersey? Then play up to the standard. Also, something like what the goal that Cape Town City score. All those players, they're all in advanced positions. And when it's the counter attack, that rest defense, that live in the game, that's not on the coach, right? When it's 3 against 1, where are the rest of you? Why are all of you in the other half of the opposition and you can't even recover? So I do think there's a part that is on the coach, and I do think there's a part that's on the players. It is hard going, Amakos.